Oop sues his ex and her boyfriend over stolen Lego sets. I am not the Oop. Oop is Legami Lego 75,389,263. Oop deleted their account. AITA for suing my ex and her boyfriend. January 16, 2021. My ex and I divorced 3 years ago. She was cheating. But at this point I don't care about the relationship anymore. The pending lawsuit has nothing to do with her or him, but rather their actions. My ex and I have a son 13 meters that we split time with 50-50. He's a great kid that interests have changed a lot tbh, as I imagine more kids, teenagers tend to do. Through the years. One thing my son was heavily into at some point was Legos. He used to play with them all the time. And personally I think they're a great toy for different reasons. I used to love playing them with him. And to this day I still collect boxes that I leave unopened as a collection. Well, my ex and I divorced. She got with someone who loved Legos more, I guess. From what I know, he loves making creations and building the sets in. I don't care. Seems cool. He does one thing I think is very, very weird. He uses crazy glue so the sets can't break or pieces can't be lost. It seems so weird to me. The issue is, I was out of town for all of 3 days last week for medical reasons. And my son wanted to get his PS4 so he could play it at his mom's. This isn't out of the ordinary at all, and he has a key. So he let me know he would be stopping over for it. I told him to have fun when I saw him on the entry camera. My wife's husband was with him, which was a no-no. I told him via speaker to not go in and to wait on the porch. He flinched but walked in anyway. I sent my ex a text telling her to call him and tell him he's 1 minute away from a cop call. He left my home with a bag in hand, which I didn't think much of because my son had his games too. Well, my son texted me later that evening and said he didn't know it at the time, but he's pretty sure SD took some of my sets. These are all old sets and 2 are worth big money. When I got home I confirmed the missing sets and called my ex. She had no idea, but he admitted he took them, but it was so son could have the sets to complete his collection. My son doesn't even like Legos anymore and told his mom he wouldn't steal from me. My wife asked how much it would cost to replace them, and unfortunately it's more than their savings. Actually, it would take their house down payment plus more. I told them if they didn't pay in 2 weeks I was suing and pressing charges. The price in the sets makes it a felony. My ex and her husband are saving for a house which would give my son more space when he's there. But those sets were going to help pay for his education someday or a home of his own. I filed the police report and have talked to a lawyer, and we're moving forward with the suit. Everyone is calling me a joke because they are just toys. But I don't get it. They are worth real money. I'm not rich, guys. I needed those to help with my son's future. But again, taking this money does deny my son things at his mom's house. AITA here? Edit. I've been asked to add these facts. The sets have been opened, which more than half their worth. And one was glued together. The damage was done already. The stolen items are King's Castle Milk Truck, Lego Land Train Carousel, and the glued one was a Star Wars Snowspeeder. Some of these are one piece of a larger set. So if you lose one of 5, you lose the value of one produce plus the value of the set as a whole. Second edit. Ex-wife and boyfriend are the same as ex-boyfriend. I'm just a bad writer. Third, final edit for this post. I know I haven't been here much, but I have read many of your comments and taken them to heart. I know my spelling is poor, guys. And I apologize for the format. Calling me names in my private message was not called for. And I am not a scalper. I enjoy buying these sets and do not intend to sell all of them. But I want my son to go to college and not worry about debt. So I want to sell the ones that I can to help. I never had the smarts for higher education, but my son is not me. And I love him and want him to do better. Around 4 p.m. I called the local state police and met at their facility. I gave them all I had and gave my statement. My son is with me starting tonight, so when I picked him up I sent him into GameStop and called his mom. I told her I had filed charges and I asked the cop to call me when everything was done so I could give him the opportunity to turn himself in. I wanted to be better than he treated me. I'll save her reaction for a real update. BTW. Can someone please tell me how to update, because I don't really understand the steps in the main notes. I told my son when we got home what I did and why. My son said that I did the right thing because he didn't want his stepdad to think it was okay to do it again. And if he didn't go to jail he'd rather be her away from him so it isn't weird. Update. Removed. Only screenshots recovered. Update date unknown. Removed after posted. I apologize. I'm not the best at Reddit. And I guess the moderators at AITA deleted my update. If you have any follow-up questions I'll try my best to answer you, though it could take some time. I have received a few requests regarding posting an update and I did promise to update the situation once it was resolved. And as far as I have any say, the headache is over for the most part. I can't say that I feel whole, but am not angry about it, as I think the consequences are something to respect. I read through most of the comments and really appreciate the time most of you took out of your day to offer advice and well wishes. I know I didn't respond to all of them, but your time and care were noticed. I accept all your judgments, but I must say your kindness blew me away, while some took time out of their day just to be mean. Which is on you, I guess. I understand Legos are toys, but I enjoy the hunt and it's worth it to me. As I said, I decided to go to the police with the video, my statement, texts from my ex, and emails. I told the police I wanted this pursued as he had entered my house after being told not to and stole valuables. They took everything I had to offer, and as of yesterday my ex's BF was arrested for a few different violations, laws. He was charged with grand larceny and breaking and entering among a few other charges. My ex is really upset at me and him, however she bailed him out, so I'm guessing she isn't too upset with him. Ex's boyfriend has called a few times and showed up once. He left the used sets on my porch, and I'm not sure what he thinks that does at this stage. They aren't worthless, but their value is less than half. I told my lawyer he did this and she was blown away. I sent an email to my ex telling her and him to stay away from me and my home. And I only wanted to hear from her if it was concerning our child. This was his first offense to my knowledge, so I don't expect him to do jail time. However, my lawyer said it was possible due to the amount of crimes and how they took place. Apparently doing that during the day is worse, and he did it in front of my child, which doesn't help him. I expect a leg day probation TBH with all of you. But I'm very far from a legal expert. I spoke to the lawyer on Tuesday this week regarding the loss. And unfortunately I'm looking at a tough road ahead of me. The pieces stolen are valued at what they sell at auction, which the local DA will decide which auctions are reputable. So, that could go different ways. Moreover, the fact the boyfriend broke up my sets were irrelevant. The lawyer said it would be like stealing one baseball card out of an entire set and burning it. You are only owed the value of that one card, even if you can't get that one card again. The fact he returned them is an admission of guilt, she said. And that we could definitely reclaim the amount of money an unopened set for each would be worth. But it doesn't make the matter better in my opinion. I know a lot of you thought 10-20K wasn't nearly enough for a house down payment. But in my neck of the woods it's plenty. And my lawyer recommended we go forward with a civil suit, and I agreed. With that and the legal charges, I feel that is well enough. I will have enough in savings and Lego stock, lol, to fund his 4 years at a good state school. I wish I could do more. But you can't win them all. My son has been staying with me full-time as he feels it's awkward at his mom's. And he's pretty upset at his mom about the whole thing. But I'm trying to smooth that over best I can considering the circumstances. He's asked to stay here full-time, which I support, and told his mom as much. I told her we could do it through the courts or keep it simple, and I think she wants to keep it simple. I haven't thought much about child support, but I don't think asking for a small amount would be bad. I don't want to break my ex, but our kids should come first. Thank you to everyone for their well wishes and thoughts. Best of luck to everyone out there. Again, if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. I am not the oop. Seriously. At what point did this grown man who knew he was not allowed in the house think that taking obviously unopened and collectible Lego sets to then glue them together was not going to go his way? I will never understand the people who dismiss this kind of thing as, oh, those are just toys, without even thinking about it. Hell, I have a Lego collection that is all out of boxes and assembled. And that collection is still valuable enough to merit a specific rider on my homeowner's insurance. It blows my mind that the ex really thought he could go in and steal the sets without any consequences, and then bringing them back. It's like when people come to my house and like, cool, you live in a jungle. Then ask to take a plant home and I got sure it's worth $1,000. What, it's not worth that much. Then I give the name of the plant, size of the plane, and how rare it is. They Google and get upset I own something so expensive. Person facepalming, medium dark skin tone, female, sign, it's my house. Would you like a small pothos? I can give you that, but leave my stuff alone. Emo, this is no different than illegally walking in, taking a bunch of jewelry, then having it melted down and returning it back after getting caught. He stole something worth value, should get B&E charges as well as sued for the cost of the loss. His ex-wife is a piece of work to allow things not only in front of her child and pretend like it was nothing, but also back the man who has no business messing with the other co-parent in this situation. It takes a special kind of dumbass to torpedo your life like this. He was literally told by the camera watching him not to go in. So he goes in anyway and steals some valuables in front of his stepchild. He absolutely belongs in jail. As someone who used to collect Legos, I can tell you that some of those sets go for more than you could ever imagine. I believe at one point the Lego Taj Mahal was going for $6,000 before they put it back into production a couple years ago. More than that. It's the principle. Sure, some people may think that Legos are just toys and it isn't a big deal. But the bigger picture is that the BF went into Op's house after specifically being told not to. After being told Op would call the cops on him. And he still stole the Legos. The man has such poor impulse control and judgment that he was pretty much asking to be arrested. And maybe it's better he gets slapped with consequences now. Tough break with the Legos. Oop seems to have his son's best interests at heart, and I think doesn't give himself enough credit. Smarts-wise. The sheer audacity of the boyfriend. I can't even imagine what possessed him. And why hasn't the ex dumped him? Because a thieving, boundary-stomping douche canoe isn't my idea of a suitable partner to share my life and help raise my child. You mess with someone's Lego collection, you are fundamentally disrespecting them. That, or any collection. It can take people years to get the sets they want, and can take hundreds or thousands of dollars as well. Oof. It's a little hard to tell exactly which sets he's talking about. There have been several King's Castle and Milk Truck sets and Legoland Train sets and Carousel sets. However, Lowballing it would be $700. If I took the maximum, new price, for each it would be over $10,000. If he had set $1,581 in new, unopened condition, it would be impossible for me to estimate the price because of fake no unopened sets exist. Why am I not surprised that Reddit tried to make him the bad guy somehow? Someone broke into his house and stole his stuff, and somehow he is the asshole. Ops ex's boyfriend deserves every image coming to him. While the worth of the items he stole is significant, the most important issue is that he knowingly stole them in the first place. He went somewhere he was blatantly told not to, took something that definitely wasn't his, lied about it, and then damaged said items he didn't know opening them would pretty much consider them damaged. Poopy-doo to you too. Boo-boo. He never would have had to figure it out in the first place if he hadn't stolen them. I have no sympathy for people like that person. Shrugging female sign. If mom can afford bail, she can afford child support. People casually stealing things then acting as if it's not a big deal is insane. The lawyer said it would be like stealing one baseball card out of an entire set and burning it. You are only owed the value of that one card even if you can't get that one card again. Isn't this just incorrect? There's definitely a loss to the value of the set. My experience in insurance states that he would be entitled to the loss in the value of the whole set rather than just the individual item. Legos aside, what possessed ex-wife's boyfriend to go inside someone else's house uninvited? How dense can someone be when they are told, "Stop, don't go inside," to still do it? This dude just walked into Op's house after being specifically told not to and knowing it was on camera, and had the audacity to take Op's stuff. Again, on camera. Not the sharpest tool in the shed is he. It doesn't matter if they were just toys. It could have been a roll of toilet paper. They belonged to Op and boyfriend took them without consent. That's theft, and that's all there is to it. Speaking of toys, I was just talking to a guy who sold his SNES collection for $28,000. Come to find out he owned 2 game stores. And it was a complete collection with 700 plus games, including some super rare expensive ones.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.